जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरधरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा बनजारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we will be reciting from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, Text 10. Purusho Vandam Vinirbhedya Yada Sausa Vinirgatha Atmanu Yanam Anvichan Apostrakshi Suchi Suchi Purusho Vandam Vinirbhedya Yada Sausa Vinirgatha Atmano Yanam Anvichan Apostrakshi Suchi Suchi Purusho Vandam Vinirbhedya Yada Sausa Vinirgatha Atmano Yanam Anvichan Apostrakshi Suchi Suchi
Purushonidam vinirvidya, Purushonidam vinirvidya, Yada sosa vinirgata, Yada sosa vinirgata, Atmanoyanam vichan, Atmanoyanam vichan, Apostrakshi suchi suchi, Apostrakshi suchi suchi. Purushonidam vinirvidya, Purushonidam vinirvidya, Yada sosa vinirgata, Atmanoyanam vichan, Atmanoyanam vichan, Apostrakshi suchi suchi, Apostrakshi suchi suchi.
Purusha, the Supreme Person, Paramatmana, Andam, the universes, Vinibhidya, making them each separately situated. Yada, when, Asu, the same, Sa, he the Lord, Vinirgatha, came out, Atmanaha, of himself, Yanam, lying in place, Anirvichan, desiring, Apa, water, Askritit, created, Suchi, the most pure, Suchi, transcendental. The translation is as follows. After separating the different universes, the gigantic universal form of the Lord, Mahavishnu, which came out of the causal ocean, the place of appearance for the first Purusha Avatara, entered into each of the separate universes, desiring to lie on the created transcendental water, Garbhodaksha. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. After analysis of the living entities and the Supreme Lord, Paramatma, the independent source of all other living beings, Srila Sukdev Goswami is now presenting the prime necessity for devotional service to the Lord, which is the only occupational business of all living entities. The Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, and all his plenary portions and extensions of plenary portions are non-different from one another. And thus the supreme independence is in each and every one of them. In order to prove this, Sukdev Goswami, as promised to King Parikshit, describes herein the independence of the Purusha Avatara, personality of Godhead, even in the sphere of the material creation. Such activities of the Lord are also transcendental, and therefore they are also Leela, or pastimes of the absolute Lord. Such pastimes of the Lord are very conducive to the hearers of self-realization in the field of devotional service. Some may argue, then why not relish the transcendental Leela of the Lord as exhibited in the land of Mathura and Vrindavan, which are sweeter than anything in the world? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur replies that the pastimes of the Lord in Vrindavan are meant to be relished by the advanced devotees of the Lord. Neophyte devotees will misunderstand such supreme transcendental activities of the Lord. And therefore the Lord's pastimes in the material sphere related to creation, maintenance and destruction are verily relishable by the prakta or mundane devotees of the Lord. As the yoga system mainly based on bodily exercises is meant for the person who is too much attached to the bodily conception of existence, similarly, the Lord's pastimes related to the creation and destruction of the material world are for those who are too materially attached. For such mundane creatures, the functions of the body and the functions of the cosmic world through physical laws in relationship with the Lord are also therefore included in understanding of the lawmaker, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The scientists explain the material functions by so many technological terms of material law, but such blind scientists forget the lawmaker. The Srimad Bhagavatam points out the lawmaker. One should not be amazed by the mechanical arrangement of the complicated engine or dynamo, but one should praise the engineer who creates such a wonderful working machine. That is the difference between the devotee and the non-devotee. Devotees are always full with praising the Lord, who directs the physical laws. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.10, the direction of the Lord upon the material nature is described as follows. Maya dakshina prakita suryate sacharanam hetu nanena kaunteya jagat vipravid vivratarte. The material nature, full of physical laws, is one of my different energies. Therefore, it is neither independent nor blind. Because I am transcendently all-powerful, simply by my glancing over material nature, the physical laws of nature work so wonderfully. The action and reactions of the physical laws work on that account. And thus, the material world is created, maintained, and annihilated again and again. Om Agyante Vinandasya Gyananjana Shalaka Chakshulumena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhestam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadamitam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitam Sha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopeksha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Vaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvesha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So thank you for coming for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions the scientists explain the material functions of so many technological terms of many material laws. But such blind scientists forget the lawmaker. The Srimad Bhagavatam points out the lawmaker. Later in the paragraph, Prabhupada mentions that devotees are always full with praising the Lord. Now, the scientists, there's some atheist scientists who do not believe in the law, in the Lord or the lawmaker. They propagate various theories to show that there's no Lord. They propagate various theories to show that this whole creation, it came with the Big Bang, the Big Bang theory. Yeah. So, in this regard, in the early 1980s, Ratan Bhushna Prabhu, he was doing book distribution in California. And where he was doing book distribution, it was the parking area. And as he was doing book distribution, one stranger came up to him. And the stranger saw that he was distributing some religious books. So the stranger told, I don't believe in God. Everything came with a big bang, and there's no creator, there's no God. So Bhushan Prabhu very patiently heard him. Then Bhushan Prabhu told him that, in this parking lot in the morning, in one corner, there was a lot of steel, there was a lot of rubber, and someone put a destructive dynamite underneath it. And there was a big blast. And you see that nice Mercedes car, that is manifested after some time, So that stranger started laughing, So Bhushan Prabhu told him, how can you accept that, something like that Mercedes could come out with a dynamite, with a blast? And what to speak of this whole creation, the universe, the sun, the moon, stars, human beings, the animals, all this could come out with a destructive blast. How can you accept that? So the stranger, he heard Bhushan Prabhu and said, interesting point. And he bought the Bhagavad Gita from him. He bought a Bhagavad Gita from him, So the thing is, when we see such complex structures, such complex things, it automatically concludes that there's a lawmaker. And we should strive to understand this lawmaker. And the Srimad Bhagavatam deals with this lawmaker. And devotees in the course of preaching, they always come across, various atheists, various people who do not believe in the Lord. Once, Vijay Prabhu, in Brisbane, in Australia, he was doing door-to-door books distribution. And he knocked on one door. And the person opened it. And Vijay Prabhu showed him the Gita and told him about the Gita. So this person, he said that, actually, I don't want to buy a Bhagavad Gita. I'm a worshipper of Satan. He says, what? I'm a worshipper of Satan, So then Vijay Prabhu, very intelligent. So Vijay Prabhu told him that, okay, you're a worshipper of Satan. Okay. So Vijay Prabhu told him, see, you should understand who your opponent is. This Gita speaks of the Lord. Gita speaks of God. So you should buy the Gita. You should understand who your opponent is. You should understand who you're up against. This book describes everything about your opponent. So please buy this book. So that person who was wondering said, "Oh yeah, you're making a good point. I will buy this Bhagavad Gita." And he bought the Bhagavad Gita. So that person's his spiritual life started. Okay. And the thing is, the devotees always see the lawmaker. Like in this, the purport Prabhupada was describing that a devotee always sees the lawmaker. And Prabhupada mentioned that this Bhagavatam deals with the lawmaker. And the devotee always sees the hand of the lawmaker everywhere in any situation. Whether a devotee comes across good times or bad times or challenging times, a devotee always sees the hand of the lawmaker. The classic example is that, and there are many examples in the scriptures in this regard. The classic example is of Kunti Maharani. Kunti Maharani, she went through what not in her life, so many challenges, right? From a young age, as she got married, she lost her husband at a young age. Then when her children were, the Pandavas were small, Duryodhana and the other people tried to kill Bhima by giving poison, and so many unjust things were being done on her small children, on her. Then in the dice playing game, they were cheated, and so many things. The 5 Pandavas with Kunti Maharani, there was an attempt to burn them alive. So many atrocities, so many unjust things, and so many challenges Kunti Maharani went through. But she always referred to Krishna as the master of all sweetness. What a statement, huh? She always referred to Krishna as the master of all sweetness. And she saw Krishna's hand everywhere. And she was grateful to Krishna for everything in her life. In fact, she went beyond, and we cannot imitate her, but we can try to follow in her footsteps. She prayed to Krishna that, "My dear Lord, let calamities come again and again on me, so that when these calamities come, I always remember you. I remember your divine hand and your divine yourself." Then a devotee, whatever power of wealth he has, a devotee, whatever power of giving good lecture he has, whatever power of making good garlands, whatever power of doing any magical skills, a devotee, when he has these good skills and anything good happens through him, he always sees the Lord's hand in that. And he always gives the credit to the Lord. And because of this, the pride doesn't touch him. Because of this, he has a humble heart, and the pride doesn't touch him. Because we should understand one thing. In this world, this pride is one of the biggest obstacles of we sadhakas. Pride. When I was a child, I remember there was a Hindi film. It was titled "Dunya Mere Muthi Mein." So in this world, people always they want "Mera dunya mere muthi mein." अगर दुनिया मुट्ठी में नहीं आता, दिल से कि चलो मेरे फैमिली एटलीस्ट मेरे मुट्ठी में, फैमिली भी मुट्ठी में नहीं, चलो मेरे ऑफिस मेरे मुट्ठी में, मेरे कलीग मेरे मुट्ठी में. दे ऑलवेज सब कुछ ना कुछ दे वांट इन द मुट्ठी में. अरे भाई, मुट्ठी में क्या? One small bacteria or virus attacks us, we are flat on the bed for a few days. In one sense, from a spiritual sense, हमारा कुछ मुट्ठी है ही नहीं. What can we take pride of? Why? That's why the scriptures say always have a humble service attitude. That is the greatest wealth of a Vaishnava. Humble service attitude. With that humble service attitude, he purchases the Lord. And the Lord gives him full assurance that after he leaves his body, he will go back to his eternal kingdom, Golok Vrindavan. Then Prabhupada mentions in the purport that devotional service is the only occupational business of all living entities. The word, there's so many striking words, Each word of Prabhupada, it's a marvel, On each word, probably a person can discuss the whole day the Bhagavatam, One thing which really struck me is when Prabhupada used devotional service is the only occupational business. Only. We have to be very clear. This human life is meant for only one purpose. That is to know the Lord, serve the Lord, pray to the Lord, serve His devotees. This is the only purpose of this human life. And bhakti means pleasing the Lord. Bhakti means pleasing Lord. In this context, I would like to narrate to you a very nice story. This a real story. This happened many, many years in Bhaktivedanta Hospital. This is regarding Yamuna Mataji, the great Srila Prabhupada's disciple who wrote the cookbook. So Yamuna Mataji, before she left her body, she had come to Bhaktivedanta Hospital many, many years ago. She was going through some health problems, and she required, as per the doctor's advice, she required a breathing machine. So I work in the purchase department in Bhaktivedanta Hospital. So I was given the responsibility to arrange for this machine for her, this breathing machine. So I ordered it, I coordinated the delivery of it, and got the delivery to Yamuna Mataji. And I was in constant touch with Yamuna Mataji regarding his demo, how's the machine working, do you want more demos, and do you want more accessories? So on day-to-day basis, I was in constant touch with her. And one day I had gone to her room to talk about the machine and take a feedback of the machine. And I gave her some sweet prasad. So the next day, my office was on the first floor, and she was staying on the fifth floor. So again, regarding the machine, she said, okay, tomorrow you check with me, I'll give you feedback if the machine is going fine or not. So the next day, from my intercom, I rang Yamuna Mataji on her fifth floor, and I told Mataji, is the machine working properly? She said, yeah, it's working properly, everything. So I told Mataji, did you enjoy the sweet prasad which I gave you yesterday? Immediately Yamuna Mataji tells me, I don't enjoy, I honored it. I immediately went, back foot. I said, sorry Mataji. This is the difference between elevated Vaishnavas. We as sadhakas, as near-for devotees, we try to say everything, हमें क्या मजा मेरे क्या ये spiritual life में ये सेवा में मजा है, चलो ये करेंगे, इसमें मजा आता है, इसमें अच्छा होता है. We see a lot of things in terms of our enjoyment, even in spiritual life. But the senior Vaishnavas, the elevated Vaishnavas, they see everything in terms of enjoyment of Guru and Krishna. This is the hallmark. They devote everything in service of Guru and Krishna, for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. They see everything in terms of service to them, everything. When you're talking in terms of the service, once Sutakriti Prabhu, he was Srila Prabhupada's personal assistant for many, many years. And he would travel with Srila Prabhupada to many, many places, many countries. And whenever he would travel, he would see that devotees, when they saw Prabhupada, they would express so much love, so much feeling for Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada, and so much feeling of love and affection. And Sutakriti Prabhu would wonder that I don't have so much love and affection for Prabhupada as these Vaishnavas are expressing. And Sutakriti Prabhu would sometimes feel a little bad, a little sad for himself, a little sorry for himself. So one day, Sutakriti Prabhu was massaging Srila Prabhupada in the room. And then while massaging, Sutakriti Prabhu mentioned to Srila Prabhupada, when I accompany with you, when go to different places, the devotees, when they see you, they express so much loving feeling towards you, they express so much love towards you. I don't have that type of love towards you, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada nodded, heard. Then Srila Prabhupada that time did not give any answer. Then Srila Prabhupada, after his massage, he went for his bath. And then after his bath, Srila Prabhupada put on his tilak. Then Srila Prabhupada went in his room. Then Srila Prabhupada called for Sutakriti Prabhu. Then Sutakriti Prabhu came. Then Srila Prabhupada told Sutakriti Prabhu, do you like serving me? Srila Prabhu said, yes, Srila Prabhupada, I very much like to serve you. Then Prabhupada said, you just do your service. That is all that is necessary. Love means to do service. Prabhupada said, what? Love means to do service. And Sutakriti was very much satisfied. So, if we really say we love Krishna, we love our Gurudev, we love the Vaishnavas, we would be serving them. Then, once a disciple of Srila Prabhupada went to Srila Prabhupada and told, Srila Prabhupada, this disciple who was in charge of a particular department. The disciple went to Srila Prabhupada and said, Srila Prabhupada, I'm just in charge of one department and I go crazy in handling this department, handling the devotees. I go crazy. I go a lot of stress sometimes. You, Srila Prabhupada, you're managing the whole ISKCON movement, so many temples, so many devotees. You come across so many problems, so many challenges. How you manage all this? When problems come to you, how you manage yourself? Then Srila Prabhupada said, when problems come, I see them as service. What a beautiful statement. Prabhupada said, what? When problems and challenges come, I see them as service. Then, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 5, in text 24, in purport, Prabhupada writes, a devotee, because of his full dependence on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is never disturbed. What a beautiful statement. Bhakti means to depend on Krishna completely. And in this context, you see Amrish Maharaj's example. Amrish Maharaj, he didn't have any fault. He had done no fault of his own. But still, Durvas Muni called that fiery demon to kill Amrish Maharaj. And when that fiery demon came to kill Amrish Maharaj, what did Amrish Maharaj do? Amrish Maharaj just folded his hand and he remembered the Lord. And he told the Lord and prayed to the Lord within his heart, my dear Lord, if this is your will, I'm ready for it. He was grateful in that situation. He had complete dependence on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We can learn so much from Amrish Maharaj. And if we see the example of Srila Prabhupada in his life, so many challenges, so many obstacles, but he had complete dependence on Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. There's a very nice statement I came across. When the root is deep, there's no reason to fear the wind. I repeat. When the root is deep, there's no reason to fear the wind. Again, we have to make our roots, if suppose a big tree is there, the roots are very deep in the ground. However strong wind may come, nothing happens to the tree. In the same way, if we want a spiritual tree to remain steady in all types of strong wind and in all types of strong obstacles, we have to have our spiritual roots very deep. And how do we make our spiritual roots very deep? By doing a sadhana nicely, by chanting nicely, by associating devotees nicely, by reading Prabhupada's books. By doing these things, we make our deeps very strong in spiritual life. We should put our best endeavor in spiritual life under guidance from senior Vaishnavas, and after that, depend fully on the will of Krishna. We have to train ourselves for that matter. And as sadhakas, as devotees, when we are engaged in the process of bhakti, we should have complete faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. We should have complete faith that Krishna will never abandon us. Have that faith, complete faith. In this regard, I would like to tell you a true story. One of Prabhupada's disciples in the initial ISKCON days had joined ISKCON, and after some time left ISKCON. Then His Holiness Romapad Maharaj was thinking a lot about that devotee and was trying to trace him. Where is that Vaishnava gone? Where is the devotee gone? And he did a lot of research and was trying to find out. Then the devotees found out that he is in an old age home in Boston, in USA. So a group of devotees went to this old age home in Boston, and they went to meet the receptionist. When they went to meet the receptionist, the devotees told the receptionist that, is this devotee by this name staying with you all? Then the receptionist said, are you all his relatives? The devotee said, no, we are not relatives. We are from the Hare Krishna movement, and he was a part of our organization, and we have come to meet him. Oh, you are from the Hare Krishnas. I would like to tell you something. This devotee who you've come across and looking for, he's basically suffering from an advanced Alzheimer disease. His brain is deteriorated a lot. In fact, he cannot remember anything. He cannot even remember his relatives. He can't even remember his own name. The disease had taken over him so much. He practically can't do anything. But every day, he and other patients, they assemble in the hall, and he insists to everyone that I want to sing this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And he sings to everyone. And when he sings this Mahamantra to everyone, he becomes very happy. In fact, that's the only time he feels very happy. And the other patients also, they're happy hearing this Mahamantra from him. So, now for this devotee, practically everything was failing. But Krishna, through his name, kept himself with this devotee. Krishna never abandons him. We have to have that faith. And sometimes we worry about so many material desires. We worry about, our mind is going crazy about this. We worry about our heart having this doubt. So many things. But it is natural in the conditioned state, these things will be there. It's natural that, for a diseased person, why should he complain about his symptoms? It's natural for a diseased person that some external things will be there. Gardan dukhega, he'll have headaches, he'll have some intestinal, some of these things, inconvenience will be there. So it is natural in a conditioned state. Our mind will give us trouble. These things will keep us giving trouble. But the most important thing is that we have to take the medicine properly. The diseased person, even though these symptoms, external symptoms are there, they're troubling him, but he should take the medicine properly. When he takes the medicine properly, his disease will go. So the same way, we are spiritually diseased. We have to take our medicine properly. And what is that medicine? The medicine for we conditioned souls is the process of bhakti. We should engage always at every moment in the process of bhakti. And what we hear from Guru, Sadhu and Shastras, we should put it into action. Say for example, if a person is suffering from a disease, he tries to find out who's the best doctor in town. He goes and meets that doctor. He asks him many questions. He satisfies himself. And the doctor says, okay, I will cure a disease. The doctor gives him the prescription. The doctor says, you take these medicines and you follow this lifestyle, your disease will go. Now this person, after hearing all this, he doesn't follow the advice of the doctor. Will disease go? No. So the same way, we read the Gita, we understand we are conditioned souls, we understand how to get out of this birth and out of the cycle of birth and that. We understand how to get out of this disease, spiritual condition. But if you don't follow what's written in the Gita and the scriptures, if we don't follow what Guru and Sadhu and Shastra are saying, we will never get rid of this conditioned disease. So very important is that what we hear from the lectures, what we read from the Gita and the scriptures, we should follow it in our life in a practical way. And another thing, when you're talking in terms of bhakti, bhakti means trying to see Krishna everywhere. Somehow we have to see Krishna everywhere. Now, once one person, he came to meet Jayapataka Maharaj, a young person. On his t-shirt, it was written GAP. Gap is one of a famous brand in one of the parts of the world, GAP Gap. So as he came to meet Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj saw on his t-shirt was written GAP. And after reading, immediately Jayapataka Maharaj mentioned Govidam Adim Purusham. GAP, Govidam Adim Purusham. So, and the Vaishnavas, the senior Vaishnavas, these elite Vaishnavas, wherever they see, whatever they see, they connect it with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in a conditioned state, we also should train ourselves to see Krishna's hand everywhere. We should train ourselves to see Krishna everywhere. Like for example, I stay in Mira Road. In Mira Road, I know a particular home. In Mira Road, there's water problem. So most houses in Mira Road, in the kitchen, they keep on the above part of the kitchen water tanks, and they store the water there, and throughout the day they use that. And especially in the morning, the water comes for maybe half an hour, 1 hour, something. And all the family members or someone in the family, they have to fill the water, and always see the mark of the water. So I know this devotee in Mira Road, every day he has to see the water, and as the water tank fills, he has to close the main tap. So he got a Jagannath sticker and it's stuck on the water tank, He said, every day I have to see on the water tank. So whenever I'm seeing the water tank, at least I'll be reminded of Lord Jagannath, So somehow, I appreciate this device. I said, wow, great, Yeah, so we, in our lives, we have to keep on making these small changes to help us remember Lord Krishna. Bhakti also means surrendering our independence to Lord Krishna. Non-devotees say that if we are independent and if we are free, then we can enjoy life better. But this is not true. So for example, there are two dogs. One is a street dog and one is a household dog. Now, the household dog, he has a proper place to sleep. He gets his food on time. When he goes on the road, his master is there to protect him. So the street dog tells to the household dog, "Arey, you're not independent. See, I'm so independent. I'm so free. I can go anywhere, anytime. I'm better situated than you." Any sane person will understand that the household dog is better situated than the street dog, So in the same way, we should give our full independence in the hands of the Lord. When we keep our independence in the hands of the Lord, It will give us, we are supremely protected. And on a spiritual journey, at various times we will feel spiritually down. Especially on a spiritual journey, a lot of times devotees come and talks to us, Prabhuji, I'm feeling this problem, that problem. In this context, a very nice example is given. One of Srila Prabhupada's disciple, sannyasi disciple, he gave this very nice example. He said, in the olden days, even now also if you go to the villages, the taraju, the weighing balance, the old type of weighing balance, you lift it up, on one side you put the weight, and on the other side you put your sabji or whatever. In the villages still they use this type of weighing machine. So Srila Prabhupada, this disciple, was mentioning, our spiritual life is like this. On one side you have to put material things, on one side is the material things, and the other side is the other spiritual things. If on the spiritual side, if you put, the point is in a life we should keep on putting more and more on the spiritual side. Because if you keep on putting more and more weight on the spiritual side, then the spiritual side will outweigh the material life, outweigh our material problems. So we have to just keep on loading more and more on the spiritual side of our spiritual life. Then, a diseased man, the more he comes back to his health, it becomes more pleasing more and more. In the same way, the more Krishna conscious we become, the more satisfying and pleasing within our heart we feel. And also we should understand that this eternal happiness, pure love of God is already within our heart. It's already within our heart. Say for an example, if you're talking to someone and you tell that person, you see that plain field? Inside that plain field, there is 1,000 kilos of wheat. Now if this person starts digging it, will you find that 1,000 kilos of wheat? No. There's a process to get that 1,000 kilo of wheat from that ground. There's a process. You have to plow the field, put the seed, water it. Through this process, you can get that 1,000 kilos of wheat. In the same way, that pure love of God is within our heart. But there's a process to get that out. And that process is the bhakti process. When we follow this bhakti process, we can get that pure love of God outside. We can feel that, we can experience it. And another thing is that there should be steadiness in our practice of bhakti. See, a lot of times what happens in a spiritual life, we feel a lot of difficulty, a lot of challenge, and we're not able to cope up with it because we lack that steadiness. The very nice example given, an analogy. Say you're boiling water in a utensil. You put heat under that water, under the utensil, and you start heating it. But if you take away the heat away from that utensil, and later you want to boil that water, the water will take more time to boil. In the same way, we have to keep the spiritual heat under us. And if we take away the spiritual heat away from us, later on, if we bring back the spiritual heat, it will take a longer time to boil the anarthas out from our heart. So the point is, we have to have the steadiness in our bhakti. If we want something great, we have to pay a great price. Also, if we want to do something, we'll find the reason to do it. And if we do not want to do something, we'll find the reason not to do it. Everything is based on a desire and our willingness. Krishna says, you do your best and I will do the rest. This principle is very nicely shown in the story of the sparrow and her lost eggs. The story is so nicely mentioned in the scriptures. This sparrow, she had eggs on the beach of the ocean, on the side of the ocean. And the ocean through her waters came and took away the sparrow's eggs. The sparrow went to the ocean and told the ocean, please return my eggs back. The sparrow started laughing and said, I will not return your eggs back. Then the sparrow said, if you do not return my eggs back, I will dry you. I'll empty your water. The ocean started laughing, what can a small sparrow do? But the small sparrow, she went to the ocean, took some water in the beaks, again came to the beach and dropped that water. Went to the ocean again, took some water on a beach, again came back on the dry side and started putting the water there. She kept on doing this in an attempt to dry the ocean. The ocean was laughing, what can she do? But this story reached Garudji, that this has happened. And then Garudji came there. And then Garudji told the ocean, you please return her eggs, otherwise I will dry you. And the ocean understood the power of Garudji, and the ocean got scared and immediately returned the sparrow's egg to the sparrow. The same way we have to do our part. What do we stand in front of Maya? Maya is Krishna's external energy. We are small Lilliputians. What can we do against the powerful Maya? We can't do anything. But through endeavor, when we endeavor in spiritual life, when we endeavor to serve the Vaishnava, when we endeavor to serve our Gurudev, through that activity, we please the Lord. When the Lord is pleased, the Lord takes the task on himself to free us from the clutches of Maya. That is our hope. Okay. Then, in material life, there's a very nice analogy I came across. In material life, say if someone is worked in a company, after his graduation from his college, he joins a company. His first job, he starts working for 1 year, 2 years, like that. He works for 30, 40 years in that company. And when his retirement age comes, the owner of the company or the factory will call a very nice party and give him a farewell party, give him his final check, give him his gift, give him a gift also. And then the owner will say, okay, I hope the owner says him Haribol, but we don't know. So the owner says, bas ho gaya, your services we got, now you can go home. So this person will go home. But the owner will never say, you have served me for 30, 40 years so nicely, now you come and stay in my house. No owner will say like that. But just see our beautiful, compassionate Lord, our sweet Lord Krishna. When a devotee serves the Lord throughout his life, and when the end time of this devotee comes, the Lord is so grateful to this devotee. The Lord says to this devotee, you have served me so many years so nicely. Now, you please come and stay in my eternal abode, Golok Vrindavan with me. This is the sweet Lord. At the end, when our retirement time comes, our retirement time to leave this body comes, the Lord with open arms is waiting to take us back to his eternal home, Golok Vrindavan. And spiritual life is all about having a humble heart. Without a humble heart, there's no question of spiritual life. So I will end the story and we'll end with that. In South India, Parasha Bhatt was the son of the great devotee Kuresh. And Parasha Bhatt was also the successor of Ramanujacharya as the Acharya of Sri Sampradaya. So once Parasha Bhatt as an Acharya, he was standing in front of Lord Ranganath. And he was standing in front of Lord Ranganath and he was praying that, my dear Lord, I'm wicked, I'm lustful, I'm unkind, I'm envious, I'm full of lust. He was praying to the Lord. And he was praying to the Lord that, my dear Lord, please give me your mercy fully. I'm full with so many anathas. And as he was praying like that, there was an envious person. He envied Parasha Bhatt a lot. And he was standing behind Parasha Bhatt. And as Parasha was praying to the Lord that, my dear Lord, I'm very lustful, this envious person from behind was saying, Satyam, it's true, my Lord, And then Parasha said, I'm very wicked. This envious person from behind was saying, Satyam, this is also true, So as Parasha was saying, I'm wicked, from behind that envious was saying, Satyam, too. And Parasha was just listening to all this, of this envious person. Then after some time, Parasha turned toward this envious person and really from his heart offered his humble obeisances and said, thank you. So this envious person got little, just bolte hain, bewildered, chakra jana, So this envious person, he couldn't understand it. I'm saying this Satyam, Satyam, Satyam. This Parasha is saying thank you and he's offering his obeisances to me. So this envious person, why are you offering your obeisances to me? So Parasha did not answer to this envious person directly. Parasha turned towards Lord Ranganath and told to Lord Ranganath, my dear Lord, every day I've been praying to you that, my dear, I'm wicked, I'm unkind, I'm lustful, I have these negative qualities. And I've been praying to you every day that please give your mercy. You have not fully given me your mercy yet. I have not fully received your mercy yet. But today I have got a witness for you, my Lord. What is Pastor said? Today I have got a witness for you, Lord. For you, my Lord. At least today, you now, please give me a full mercy, my Lord. Please give me a full mercy. When this envious person, he saw such humility and such gentleness of Parashar, this envious person started crying tears. And he begged forgiveness from Parashar and said, please forgive me. And later he took shelter of Parashar and he became an initial disciple of Parashar. So, there's no bhakti without having a humble heart. So we should always engage in the process of bhakti with a humble heart, praying to the Vaishnavas, praying to Gurudev, praying to Sri Radha Gopinath ji, that I'm really, full of envy, full of wickedness, full of lustful. There may not be a person behind us saying, Satyam, Satyam. You should understand this. These anarthas are there in our heart. And we should beg the Lordship and the Vaishnavas to help us get rid of them. So we will end the Srimad Bhagavatam class here. If there are any questions, there are a few minutes, 2-3 minutes. If any has any questions or any comments to make, we can take up any questions. So no one has any questions. So thank you for this Bhagavatam class. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Pranam Prabhuji.
I am also from Vietnam.